Hey fellas, your commissioner here, coming at ya for a little eight, week eight of NFL action. Um, come on. As you can see here, trying to switch up the vibes a little bit, get back to some positive lies, optimistic commish maybe. Obviously, my team has not responded extremely well to the negative commish. So we'll switch the flow up. Just having fun. Flow. Nice and breezy, beautiful. Cover girl. Start off as we always do. Well, not that I've already started off with something else, but recap the Hogs game that didn't happen. That's why I didn't start with that, because there was no Hogs game. So we won. We remained undefeated coming off of on the bye week. So, yeah, you see it's starting to get a little darker. It's that time of year. I planned to start recording this video an hour ago, and didn't work out that way. I had some freezing issues going on. Okay, and I don't like that lag. We don't deal with lag anymore, okay? I got this Mac, all right? I pay too damn much money to be dealing with lag on my video. So had to restart the whole thing, get the new software. It took like an hour. I did some chores in the meantime to try to be a productive member of my household. And so here we are. So now we're recording, now we're going, and let's get into it. So we'll start off with the recap of the Mentos Gum game of the week between If You Lose to Me You Really Suck and hold on one second. Hello?
Up on you like that.
Huh?
At dinner. I didn't mean to hang up on you like that at dinner, but I was eating. The lady kept asking me if I was ready to order the rest of my meal.
Yeah.
People next to me were talking, and I didn't want to be talking on the phone because I was at the bar. So,
yeah.
But I'm back in my house. My hotel room, safe and sound. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Because the guys next to me were very suspect.
Yeah.
They were asking me for my birthday, my name. I told them my name was Erica, but I told them my birthday was like September 26th.
Yeah.
1994.
You should have just lied. Said your name was something else.
But I had to sign my signature on my receipt.
So
I just told them my name's Erica, but I didn't tell them my last name.
Yeah. Do you want to listen to me do the video? Because I just started.
Yeah, what? What'd you say?
I said, do you want to be the guest picker this week? I just started the video, so we can...
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you had to do your video.
Yeah. It's all right.
Okay, so who am I picking?
Oh, I haven't started picking yet. I got to go through the recap. So do you want to just listen to the recap, and then I'll tell you when you can pick?
Okay, am I on speaker?
Yes.
Damn. So they heard all of that?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So, recap the game of the week, Mentos Gum game of the week. If You Lose to Me, You Really Suck, and Razorback Revival. Not only was this the game of the week, it featured the throw up blood, piss all over themselves, concussed, wrist brace, knee brace, fragile Mr. Glass. Team of the week, Razorback Revival. Mr. Nick Wheeler scored a whopping 67.55 points, coming off his second best game of the season last week against me, putting up 130 points. He plays Savoy and only puts up 67, so he really sucks. You look down his roster here, his running backs combined for a whopping 2 points. That's 2 points from two players. His wide receivers, pretty good. Not a very good week for them this week. They only had like 10 points apiece. One of his best players was a rookie tight end, and Derek Carr got him 15 points. And you hate to lose to anybody who puts up less than 100, but Savoy, credit to him. He's now 2-5 with only putting up 96 points. There's another owner in this league who put up 96 points this week and lost. Marcus Mariota experiment did not work out well. 13 points. Damian, he sold to Eckler. Kareem Hunt, 4 yards. I mean, if he didn't have that touchdown, he's sitting on 1.8 points again. Ayuk is great. Dameon Pierce is great. Olave is great. Outside of that, there's not a lot of hope there. I mean, Savoy's going to go back to his losing ways if he plays a team with a pulse. But both of these guys are 2-5, pretty much done for their playoff hopes. But you never know. I mean, pretty much every team's either 2-5, 3-4, or 5-2. So most of these guys really aren't that far out of it. Especially everybody who's 3-4. There's not really anybody who's 4-3. Yeah, there's only one team. So next here, I've lost the third game in a row here, the third week under 100 points for myself. Craig wins 116-96, drops me to 3-4. Craig wins another. I mean, this is best game of the season, so right on there. I mean, Ramondre had a great game. Jacoby got a touchdown. T had a good game, and Zeke had 2 touchdowns, whatever. And outside of Herbert and Kirk, not much production there. I mean, both running backs in single digits. 2 of my 3 wide receivers were in single digits. So pretty shitty. But hey, we're thinking positive vibes only. We're going to, got the Hawaiian shirt on. We're going to kick it into gear this week. I got a good feeling we're going to bounce back strong and have a good week this week. It was just bad timing. Swift was supposed to come back. He didn't. McCaffrey got traded. Sutton had a very tough matchup, a good secondary with a backup quarterback. So it is what it is. It's just one of those things. Feel free to chime in, Erica, with any comments you have on these scores, if they surprise you or,
Okay, will do.
Any comments so far on the 4 teams I've talked about?
No, other than, Savoy, it just seems like he's given up. But I think he might have a chance.
Well, he traded away all of his best players for scraps. So, I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I recall you having a conversation about that this weekend. I just didn't remember. But yeah, Savoy, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm in Atlanta, by the way, Savoy, if you want to hit me up. We can hang out tonight. We can talk about fantasy if you want to.
She could probably give you some pretty good advice. She's doing pretty good, so.
Yeah, I'm a beast.
Yeah.
So hit me up, Savoy.
Yeah. All right. So next here we got the Cataclysm. Just a really bad week for fantasy overall. I mean, another week where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, half the league under 100 points for 2 weeks in a row, I think, or 2 out of the last 3 weeks, something like that. This has happened, and it's just it's what's happened all season. I mean, this has been one of the lowest fantasy scoring seasons in recent memory. But hey, it doesn't stop people. There's still been plenty. I mean, you had somebody drop 160, 130, 140. So, but yeah, Wilson stays hot, 5-2, gets back on track after losing last week. Beats Plunk 115 to 99.9, as close as you can get to 100 without breaking it. Plunk does that again with 0 points from his RB2, 0.4 points from his tight end. Really outside of Jamar Chase and DJ Moore finally having a good game. Not a lot of production. I mean, Kamara 18 points back-to-back weeks. He's putting up 18 points a game without getting a touchdown. I mean, just imagine whenever he inevitably starts scoring some. I think Plunk will be okay. But, credit to Wilson. I mean, not a sexy week, 115. It's about an average week this season. Got 0 points from Gallup, but, Mahomes had a huge day. Chubb continues to be a beast this season. Mike Evans had a great game despite dropping the touchdown. He did lose Mike Williams for about a month. So that's tough for him because his his wide receiver depth was pretty shaky. Really, he's got Mike Evans. That's about it. So, anyways, good credit to Wilson. I mean, he 5-2. I mean, pretty much a lock to make the playoffs, and very surprising. One of the biggest surprises of the season, I would say, so far. Next year, the highest scoring matchup, the only matchup that featured two teams that scored over 100 points. Duncan wins 146-126 over Blaine. Duncan was 0-4, dead in the water, and he's rattled off 3 straight wins. He's been putting up good point totals pretty much all season, and credit to him. He played the third highest scoring team again this week, and he was still able to pull out a victory. You got to feel bad for Blaine, seeing guys who put up 116, 115, 96 especially get a win. Blaine drops 125 and loses, but again, Blaine's 4-3, but I mean, honestly, he might now be the best team in the league. I think he can go toe-to-toe with Rip, 1A, 1B, these two guys. He puts up 125 with Josh Allen on the bench due to a bye week, and no Keenan Allen because he's still recovering from injury. But ETN is the guy now. Barkley, Eckler, Hopkins is back looking like a beast. St. Brown, if he can get healthy, he's going to be a beast. And really, the only 2 weak spots are at tight end and that third wide receiver. He's got Keenan Allen. Yeah, he's got Keenan Allen. So really, it's just a tight end. So, if he could get solid production out of one of his tight end, his second round pick tight end, and Kyle Pitts, I think he'd be all right. Blaine, hey, if you ever want Gerald Everett or Pat Freiermuth, just come talk to me. I'll give you either one of them for maybe DeAndre Hopkins. So I'll throw in Michael Thomas too, because I'm a nice guy. Because he doesn't play football anymore, but that can be our little secret. So yeah, Blaine's 4-3, Duncan's 3-4, and is in the last playoff spot right now as it stands. So because he's been putting up monster weeks here and there all season. So credit to them. Next year we got the Fat Bastards versus Discount Double Check, the second lowest point scorer of the season. Of the week, Rip puts up 71.9 points to Ford's 136. Ford puts up 136 without Stephon Diggs, one of his best players, his guy. And you got to really give credit to Ford as well. I mean, he's fought through adversity. He lost Javonte Williams, and Terry's been up and down, but he's got Brian Robinson has looked great, and Njoku's looked great. Now, of course, he is hurt. But Clyde continues just to get touchdowns, even though he's not getting much production. But, yeah, I mean, Ford is a force to be reckoned with. Pickens had a great game as well. And Rip, I mean, this is an outlier week for Rip. I mean, he had Kupp on bye, Jalen Hurts on bye, Devontae Smith on bye, Devin Singletary on bye. So, I mean, and Darren Waller hurt. So, now, granted, huge hit for Rip to lose Breece Hall. But I think he'll be okay. Dubs did nothing. But that's fine. I mean, he has Tyreek, Debo, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Smith. That's fine as his 3 wide receivers and his flex. He's got Jalen Hurts in there. He can throw Devin Singletary in there as his RB2. That's fine, especially the way that Derrick Henry's been performing. But he loses one more guy. It's going to be a little bit shaky. So he does fall to 5-2, and Rip Ford is also 5-2. Any thoughts, Erica, before I get to our last game?
No thoughts.
No thoughts on Rip?
Okay, Rip is a beast. That's all I got to say is probably going to be Rip. Even
though he only scored 71 points this week?
Well, I only scored 70, and six league, and I have a pretty damn good team, but my team only scored 70 points somehow.
So are you?
So
What's your record in that league? Is it 3-4?
yeah, something like that.
Mm.
3-4, but anything can happen in fantasy. Just because he had one bad week, he gonna bounce back probably really good this week and be back to the top.
Yeah, he is still leading the league in scoring by almost 100 points. So
exactly. So I think he's gonna come back this week and dominate in this league.
Yeah.
So I put my faith in Rip. So.
No, Rip, at least you got somebody rooting for you, buddy. All right, in the last game here, typically it's throw up all over themselves, but whenever it's the game of the week, they get the marquee treatment. But you got Cooter Gang versus Shades of Dynasty. JD just absolutely mollywopped D Shade this week. What I've been hoping somebody could do to this guy for all season. He did it. Gets to 2-5, drops D Shade to 3-4. He's lost 2 in a row.
Why have you been hoping this whole season that somebody Millie rocks D Shade? Because it's not like his team is doing that good where he needs somebody to show him or humble him based off of his record. So why did you want somebody to do that to D Shade?
Well, 2 weeks ago he was sitting at 3-2. He'd been doing pretty well. But not really scoring too many points. But still winning games, kind of like Craig. But really, it's just because he's a newbie. I mean, I don't want any new person to come into the league and have success. Because what does that say about the rest of us? It makes us look like fools.
I want somebody to come in and make y'all look like shit.
It happened. I mean, Jacob Rawlings, the first year he was in the league, he won the whole thing. JD, the first year he was in the league, he won the whole thing. I'm pretty sure it was his first year. I could be mistaken. Maybe it was his second year, but I'm pretty sure it was his first year. I mean, really, there used to be a good track record of it happening until Duncan joined and he's shit. Savoy joined, shit. Wilson joined, shit. All 3 of the guys. I mean, basically, if you join the league, you don't win horse ass right away, but you either win horse ass or you win the title. So, and JD's done it both. So, but yeah, credit to JD, 162, not the highest point total of the season. That was Savoy, 170 a few weeks ago. But I mean, Burrow gets almost 50 points. JT, good game back. Mostert is a beast. Juju's been on just a massive tear. Kittle's back on track. Not a great game from Najee, but good enough. And he's doing all this without Hollywood. Curtis Samuel's on the bench. So, yeah, I mean, JD could get hot here too. I mean, he's got a decent team. I don't think, certainly not the worst on paper. I mean, that's obviously Savoy at this point. But yeah, I mean, credit to JD. He's 2-5, keeps that. So one of these teams that are 2-5 right now, they're gonna make the playoffs. I have a really strong feeling about that. I think all the teams that are 3-4 are not strong enough to hold on to those spots. There's even a team that's 5-2 right now who might lose his spot. So, and I think he should. And if he doesn't, I'm gonna be very upset. Very upset because he's gonna lose in the first round of the playoffs as is tradition. So. Had some minor pickups this week. Not a lot to talk about. Danny Dimes, Kirk Cousins, some quarterbacks going through bye weeks. James Cook, Chuba Hubbard was obviously the big. I mean, it's so fascinating to me how, I had a safety bid on Chuba in case some other plays didn't work out on Sunday morning for $1. Didn't get him. Nobody bid on him. Could have got him for $1. He ends up going for $31 today. So I think at one point my initial bid on him was like $30, and then I dropped it down to 25. Again, it's fine. I got Swift. I got CMC. I got Gus. So that was a trade that went down on Tuesday. I traded Wan'Dale Robinson for Gus Edwards. we'll see. Kind of lackluster trade. Gus isn't going to have 2 touchdowns every week. But he still had a pretty decent game even without the tutties. So, and Wan'Dale, I think he's going to be great. I think he's a great keeper value too for next year. So, it is what it is. I just couldn't foresee myself having the balls to play him. So, all right, let's go ahead here, get into a preview of this week's matchups. What's going to be the game of the week? Who do you just name an owner? Name an owner you want to be game of the week. Here, hold on. Okay, we're back.
I pay attention to your shit.
We're back. So we picked our game of the week. So let's start off here with Wilson versus Laz, Curse of the 101. Dead even. 112.7 to 112.7 is the current projection. Huge plus for me. Mahomes is on bye. Mike Williams is hurt, but also on bye. Hardman's on bye. But again, I've got Gerald Everett on bye, Justin Herbert on bye, so I think it's going to be very close. But as I said, I really, I think that Wilson is going to have some blow up games. He's got a player going on Thursday and a player going on Monday, but I've got a couple lads going on Sunday morning. We got our last London game of the NFL season. So as you can see there, the Broncos and the Jags, as is tradition, will be playing across the pond on the pitch, on the soccer pitch, on the fine Sunday morn. Get your tea and crumpets ready quite early, because you don't want to miss this doozy of a game. I tell you that right now. So, as my English accent devolves into Australian, oi, look at that fine Sheila over there on the phone. Now, I don't even know what that was, but guess what? In a couple weeks, you guys get my German, so stay tuned. Dankeschön, my friend. My Freund. Danke. A little sneak preview. All right, yeah, I've already said I think I'm going to have a bounce back this week. Power of positive thinking. The hang loose Hawaiian shirt, I'm going to go with myself in that one. Erica, what do you think?
I'm going with my baby.
Thanks. Good. Okay, next here we got Kickers Lives Matter versus Discount Double Check. Projected to be a blowout. Rip 139 to Duncan's 119. I think we start to see maybe I think that glass slipper might be turning back into a pumpkin this week, folks, because Rip has got all of his weapons back, and outside of Breece Hall, of course, being injured, which it always is funny to me how Breece Hall's keeper rights are locked into Rip unless he trades him. And maybe that's why he trades him, but those trades aren't supposed to happen. That's why he doesn't cut him, but those trades aren't supposed to happen anymore. Breece Hall's not going to play again this season. Just cut him. Because if you traded Breece Hall in any type of trade, it would get vetoed. Because we're not really doing that in those type of trades anymore. So, but yeah, I just, Allen Lazard probably won't even play, but if he does, he's going against Buffalo. He's got Alec Pierce and yuck. Yeah, Rip's gonna win big. Erica.
I agree. Rip's got it all day.
Yep, you heard it there first. Next here, you got If You Lose to Me, You Really Suck versus the Swamp Donkeys. Blanche projected to win this one, 123 to 81. Savoy currently does not have a second running back or a flex. he's probably going to be, you throw Kareem Hunt in there at your RB2. Maybe Duvernay in there at your flex. I mean, brother, you need a home run. I mean, you might as well just put in Taysom Hill at your flex and hope he gets a 30-point game, because that's the type of thing that's going to have to happen for you to be able to beat Blaine. Blaine is without Keenan Allen and without Austin Eckler there. So, hey, maybe that's why Savoy made the trade, because he saw Blaine coming up on his schedule and he said, ooh, I'm going to plant some landmines on Blaine's team so I can maybe try to pick up a win, because you won't have Keenan and you won't have Eckler. Don't think it's going to matter, folks. I don't think it's going to matter. We're going to go with Blaine.
Blaine.
Yep. Next here, we got Fat Bastards versus Dirty Birds of War. Plunk's projected to win this one, 124-111. Ford is going to be without David Njoku, hurt his ankle. But not great matchups across the board for Ford. I think 124 is maybe a little bit too much for Plunk's projections. It's really going to be, Thursday is going to be huge for him. I mean, if Mark Andrews, Bateman, and Lamar can get off to a good start on Thursday night, then he's going to be looking all right. But no matter how many points he's down going into Monday night, he might not be down at all. He's got Jamar Chase going on Monday night. That always gives him hope. So that being said, I think Ford pulls the upset here. I think Ford stays hot, gets to 6-2, and stifles Plunk from getting back to 500. So you might see a little bit of put my money where my mouth is here, and put a little money on Ford plus 13.2. So, Erica, what do you think?
Ford against Connor?
Yes.
I gotta go with Connor.
Gotta go with Connor. He's the champ. That's right. 3-peat. Yeah. So, smart girl, I guess, if you were asking him. All right. And our penultimate matchup here, projected to be very close despite the record, 117.1 to 117.2 between Cooter Gain and Razorback Revival, JD and Nick. Nick has the slightest of edges. Both these teams are 2-5, so this is a loser leaves town game. I mean, whoever loses this game is 1,000% not going to be making the playoffs. So it's huge. It's huge. And I got to say here, just looking through the lineups, I mean, Nick's back at full strength after having his two running backs on bye last week. And JD's pretty much at full strength. I mean, Juju's going to be in and out of the lineup every week. There's some good matchups for JD, but Nick, I think this is a shootout. I think this might be a sneaky play for the over as well. I mean, I think I could see easily both of these teams breaking 200 or 120, not 200. I think I'm going to go with Nick in that one. I think his wide receivers just give him a slight enough edge there. So, and he visited. So he's like the first person to visit in 84 years. So we'll go with Nick in that one.
I'm going with Nick too. Boyfriend number 2.
Okay, we'll cut that part. Cut that. All right, so that brings us to our game of the week here. The Burt's Bees Beeswax Lip Balm game of the week. Can we see that? There she goes. Come on. Zoom in on that. Come on. Whatever. You guys get it. You know what it is. 100% natural with vitamin E and peppermint. Burt's Bees Lip Balm Wax. It's got beeswax, of course, coconut, sunflower seed oil, peppermint, Rosemary. I like this. It has a whole bunch of scientific names, but it also gives you the dumbed down version, the layman's terms of what these things are. It's made in the U.S. of A. in Durham, North Carolina. Yeah, I mean, this is the OG flavor. Burt's Bees, it does great. It's that time of year, starting to get a little bit chilly out there, a little bit windy. So you need you some Burt's Bees to keep your lips from getting too dry. So anyway, Burt's Bees, the official lip balm of the Bring That Wood Fantasy Football League. Cheers. All right. That is Doesn't Contribute versus Shades Shadynasty. Huge game for the fraudsters. He's projected to win 107-104. Extremely low scoring game from these two. Battle of the quarterback. You got Tom Brady going against Baltimore on Monday night. Try as I might. I should know better. I've been trying to trade Geno Smith to Craig for Tom Brady, really just for this week, because I think that Brady's really going to have a monster game. He wouldn't budge, to no surprise, versus Dak Prescott. Looked a little shaky coming back, first game back, and Chicago defense looked good last week. So I'm going to go with Tom Brady there, battle of the quarterback. Erica, what do you think? Did I lose you?
No, you didn't. I agree with you.
Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Okay. Battle of the running backs here. We got Zeke Elliott and Ramondre Stevenson versus Aaron Jones and Leonard Fournette. I think that this is a pretty close one here. Both are going, really all four of them are going up against pretty stout defenses. Probably the easiest matchup would be Fournette. He's coming off his worst game of the season by far. Previously he had been pretty much in double digits every single week, and it had been around 20 plus the last 3 weeks before running into a buzzsaw that's Carolina. Again, I really think that the Buccaneers offense gets back on track against Baltimore. I think that it's going to be a shootout, and I think because of that, I'm going to have to give the slight edge to Shade when it comes to the running backs.
You waiting on me?
Yes.
I agree with you all the way out. I'm in the shower, so.
Okay. Next here, we got Battle of the Wide Receivers. CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, and Jacoby Myers versus DK Metcalf, Amari Cooper, and Drake London. It's tough. I mean, I think really the tiebreaker comes down to that third wide receiver, and I think it's a 1946 offense that the Falcons are running. I mean, they throw the ball 10 times a game, and it's not sustainable to the pass catching options that they've spent first round picks on pass catchers the last two years. Top 10 picks on a tight end and a wide receiver, only to run the ball 50 times a game despite being down 3 scores. And yet Plunk thinks that Arthur Smith has job security and that they're doing good. I don't see it personally. They need a lot of help all over. Head coach is one of them. So, but DK is also questionable whether or not he's going to play. If he doesn't play, I mean, he's probably have to slot in Darnell Mooney. DK's running back room is actually fairly stout. He's got Aaron Jones, Leonard Fournette, Michael Carter, and Tony Pollard. I'd like to see him maybe flip one of those guys for a wide receiver if he could, but he probably won't. So anyway, battle of the wide receiver. I think I'm gonna have to give the slight edge there to Craig, just because I don't know that DK plays and Drake sucks. So Erica, what do you think?
I agree. I have DK in my other league, and I did not start him. So DK keeps getting out.
So you're going with Craig's wide receivers?
Yes.
Okay. Battle of the tight end. Pretty gross here. You got Greg Dulcich versus Mike Gesicki because Travis Kelce is on bye this week. That's a huge hit for D-Shade. Gesicki is playing against probably the worst defense in the league, although they looked very strong coming off the bye. They did give up a touchdown to a tight end. Strong for them, I should say. Strong for them. They still gave up like 3 touchdowns, but that's progress for the Lions. Most of it was on pass interference to even get down there. But and Greg Dulcich, I don't know if he continues this hot streak that he's on the last 2 weeks, double digits the last 2 weeks ever since he's been activated. But we'll give the slight edge to Dulcich. And Erica, I know you don't know either of these two people, so who do you want? Okay, she goes with Greg Dulcich as well. Battle of the Flex. You got Paris Campbell versus Tony Pollard. We're going to go Pollard there in that one. And ultimately, I think that the wide receivers and Brady do enough to get Craig the win and drop Shade, even though he's a fraud. And I wish that D-Shade would beat him. And actually, it's probably better for me if he doesn't. So, because honestly, I hope to make the playoffs, and I would love to see Craig in the playoffs. So, Erica, what do you think? Who's going to win this one? Hello? Okay, she goes with Craig as well. So, anyways, that's all I got this week, fellas. Hogs are back in action against Auburn, 11 a.m. Out in the Plains. Should be a slaughter for Arkansas. We're the far superior team. This should maybe be in the nail in the coffin for Brian Harsin, and I'd love to see him get. Listen, you never want to talk about another man's job. You never want to see anybody get fired, but it would be cool to be the team to get a coach fired. I'll just be honest with you. It'd be cool. It'd be fun. So, anyways, Halloween this weekend as well. It's actually Monday. But, y'all make sure you be safe out there for spooky season. It's very scary out there these days in the streets. And good luck this week. And as always, Woo Pig.
Woo Pig. I know who those players were, bitch.